And we're joined in the studio by Sabrina Senior and Joe Otten from the company. Welcome both.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for coming in. So you're presenting Richard III, the Shakespeare play, next the 15th to the 18th of Feb at the Drama Studio on Glossop Road.
Just after Valentine's Day, if anybody's looking for an interesting post-Valentine's date.
Yeah, great. So first of all, Joe, what is the company and how did you get involved?
Well, we're an amateur theatre group, non-profit. We go along and we put plays on. We have a good time. We're very warm, welcoming. I mean, Sabrina and I both actually only got involved in the last 3 years. The company's been going on 20 odd years, but you know the auditions are open, so anybody can go along and audition. And if you're good, you're likely to get a part, which is fantastic compared to some companies that are very difficult to get into, and people can't hold the best role. Well, Sabrina, on your merit, you came in and you're now playing the leading role after a couple of years. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Thank you.
Great. So this is Richard III. Sabrina, why do you feel that Shakespeare's plays continue to be so popular?
Because they're never not going to be relevant. He doesn't write... I mean, he sets it in a time and place, but he doesn't write about the time and place. He writes about humans and human feeling, human emotion. He writes about things we still experience today. So you can strip it down and do it completely bare, and it's still going to be relevant because it's about things we can relate to inside ourselves.
Great. So the play's set in 1917 during World War One.
Mm-hmm.
Has that caused any kind of challenges?
Well, we did have a bit of an awful time getting a teeny tiny military uniform for me. We've had a bit of trouble with that. But otherwise, like I say, you really can displace Shakespeare and still get to the essence of it. And with it being something we're thinking about a lot, I think, lately.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of kind of commemorative things. I think it's a really good...
I think it's. I mean, in a sense, because I play the Richmond character who comes along the end and puts everything, makes everything all right, and reunites York and Lancaster. Today, I suppose you'd say you'd be joining the European Union if you were uniting people and stopping.
Joe is a politician, in case you did not get that.
Great. And can you tell us a little bit about the plot of Richard III?
Well, as I said, I only come along at the end and put everything right. The main devilry is Sabrina's department.
Well, it's not devilry in his opinion. Richard is... He's grown up during the Civil Wars, and that's his life. He's fought all these battles, and he's surrounded by conflict in an attempt to right the country. And he thinks he's got it right with his brother on the throne, and his brother's turned out to be a bit of a mess, a really hedonistic kind of louche character. And he realises this is not good. Let's right the ship. You right the ship at the end, but that's what Richard is trying to do all along, is to right the ship. So at the beginning he introduces himself saying, I'm going to do some awful things. But he knows why he's going to do them, and in his mind they seem justified.
Great. So, Joe, you're playing Richmond. Can you tell us a bit more about your character?
So Richmond is the name in the play for the person who becomes Henry VII, Henry Tudor, who's the sorry, spoilers and all that, becomes the king after Richard III. And we don't actually see him until he arrives. He's talked about as his other character because he's in the ongoing War of the Roses. He's the Lancastrian.
He's banished to France.
Is that right? Oh, okay.
Yes, his mother Margaret Beaufort gave birth to him in Wales when she was about 14, and because he had a bit of a claim through her, they banished him to France.
So this is why, when he unites the Roses, he also wants to join the European Union. I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, Joe. I told him in the car, no EU stuff, no EU stuff.
Great. So I was going to ask if you'd done much research, but I think the answer's yes.
No, I am an enormous Shakespeare nerd, in case you haven't guessed. I love it.
Great. So Sabrina, you're playing the title role, Richard III. How have you found that?
Exhausting, challenging. Well, it's been very difficult. Actors tend to say that you put yourself out. You put yourself out playing Richard III because however you choose to play the deformity, and in this case it's quite mild, you do your back in. even if you're only doing it 3 times a week, I've done my back in. And then, of course, it's an enormous part, and it's a famous part, and so it's terrifying. It's utterly terrifying,
Yeah.
if that answers the question.
And it's traditionally, obviously, a male role. How have you found playing a male?
Well, you can't get around certain things in that I am quite small. I'm 5'3", and we've got some 6-foot cast members. So you've got to find ways to be intimidating without relying on having an intimidating structure. And that's been really fun, actually. That's been really fun, finding a way to be scary.
I've been terrified all through her rehearsals.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And why do you think there is such a trend for women finally getting to play the big meaty roles in Shakespeare?
Well, I think that's because women are just as good at acting as men. And if you close off some of the best roles ever written to women, you're depriving yourself of half the population's worth of entertainment. And people are finally getting wise to that. So it should be done.
Absolutely. So, Jo, what have you found most challenging about being part of this production?
Well, the language, I think, is always the interesting thing with Shakespeare, because if you saw the Philomena Kunk programme about Shakespeare, you know, is it a load of old nonsense, or does it just sound, feel, and something else like that? And of course, it does mean something, but it's not the language that you're used to speaking, and so putting the meaning into the words as they come out, and then act is another thing to think of, on top of all the things you normally think about acting, which is moving and you know, feeling the emotion and interacting with the other people.
You've got to find a way to let the audience know what the hell you're talking about if they are not, like me, enormous Shakespeare nerds. So it's about finding the right way to emphasise and the right way to bring them with you, to make the connection, to get them invested. Otherwise, they're going to spend 2 hours leaning back in their seats thinking, what on earth am I watching?
Yeah, I always feel it's to do with the actors' understanding. If they understand it, you can understand what they're saying.
You cannot do Shakespeare if you don't understand what the hell you're saying.
Yeah,
I have worked with some who have learnt lines really quickly and fantastically, and then you are like, do you know what you're talking about?
Yeah. And Sabrina, what have you found most challenging apart from your bad back?
The enormity of the role in every sense. The enormity of the amount of lines I have to learn. Hopefully I will know them by Wednesday.
You know them already.
And trying to, in a way, lead everybody. I've got this terrible feeling I'm going to lead them off a cliff, because I am kind of spearheading this thing, and everybody is there supporting me, and you desperately want to do the best you can.
Brilliant.
In a ridiculously difficult role.
And what would you say you've both enjoyed most about this production?
Well, I mean, I've got to say, again, it is a great bunch of people. The company, it's they're a great bunch of people.
Yeah.
I love taking part.
We're good friends. We started off doing Romeo and Juliet together, and Joe was my favourite because he would buy chips and let me share them.
We weren't Romeo and Juliet, I hasten to add.
No, I was third servant from the left or something.
I was Old Montague. Lord Montague, not Old Montague at all. No.
Not old Montague.
No, thank you.
Great. And what have you enjoyed most, Sabrina?
It is a similar thing. It's the people and being around people who support you through something like this, because everybody's been massively supportive with something that's been insanely difficult for me, especially because I'm a student and I've got exams. And yeah, you wouldn't do it if it weren't for the people. There's no reason to put yourself through this if you didn't love it.
I'm not like, it's putting on a show though as well. I suppose the other thing is having a chance to beat somebody else for a while.
Yeah,
you know,
we're all
that
enormous narcissists. We want to go out there and get applause, but
well, I know I would do it. I would do it even without the audience. I would go along and be somebody else for a while and think, well, I'm not saying my life is not
don't get me
worth
wrong.
living,
The
but
audience is nice. We desperately want you to come and see us on the 15th to the 18th.
Great.
But you know, you can have a range of experience that you don't really have in real life, and you can live in that little world for a while. And I think that's
I don't shoot you in real
life.
life.
No, nor are you. It's and I don't intend to. So
I suppose that's good to know because you're my ride home.
Oh, good. Right.
Great. So your opening night is a week today. What would
Yes.
you say to someone who's considering coming?
Do come. Look us up on the look up the Facebook event, because then it'll give you a reminder. If you're intending to come now, you might forget. The company presents Richard III. You'll find it on Facebook.
You'll find a beautiful gnarly picture of
You-
my
you-
face
you'll
with some
find
fantastic prosthetics,
a
courtesy
horribly-
of Sarah Keegan, who is screaming Bell FX.
A
on
horribly disfigured version
Facebook.
of Sabrina, which does look really actually quite compelling. You know, you're
Thank
terrifying already, even when you're beautiful. So how are you going to be now? I don't.
Oh, you've never been this complimentary, Joe. I don't know what to do. But yes, come along. The University of Sheffield Drama Studio on Glossop Road, the 15th to the 18th. Doors open at 7. Curtain goes up a little bit early. There's some trench business.
There's some.
But now into the winter of our discontent, we'll kick off at 7:30, and hopefully you'll be in the pub by 10.
But by 10, that's the plan.
Sounds fantastic. Well, thank you both for coming in.
Thank you.